But in an
Explore
interview
the
just a
Ripple
few months
case's impact
ago,
on crypto
the
regulation and
CEO
XRP investor outlook.
of Ripple kind of talked about what the experience has been like battling with the SEC and how much money has cost Ripple to do it. I found this to be, pretty interesting.
The headline for me is I feel like it looks good. In large part, I think it's very clear, and the more that has come out, the facts are on our side, and I think it's more and more clear the law is on our side. But we have spent, one of the things when this is all said and done, we will have spent over $100 million on legal fees fighting the SEC. And the dynamic there is, in my opinion, the SEC bullies companies into settlements because they can't afford to fight. And the reason I think this fight is so important isn't just for Ripple. It's really for the whole industry. It was literally 4 years ago this week that Bill Hinman, the director of corporate finance at the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, gave a speech saying that ETH was not a security. And by the way, let me be clear. I do not think ETH is a security. I don't think XRP is a security. But at the time, we viewed this as, isn't it great that 4 years ago, we're starting to provide some leadership and some clarity. And I viewed this as actually a very positive sign. I remember there's emails which now the SEC has read from our internal documents where I sent the team a note saying, hey, this is great news. We now have clarity of how the SEC is thinking about this. And they used some parameters around decentralization and what have you. And look, the fact that 4 years have gone by and we still don't have clarity about how the SEC is going to say what is and is not a security. And worse, actually, now the SEC, the current chair, Gensler, is really walking back the statement around ETH, and that he has been asked directly, is ETH a security? He won't answer the question. Like, how can we be competitive in the United States in an industry where a primary regulator will not provide that clarity? My experience in crypto is the vast majority of people want to do right by the rules, but you got to know where the rules are, right? So I think the Senate bill that you're describing, I think, is a constructive step in that regard and provides some clarity. There's a bill that was introduced in the House side called the Digital Commodity Exchange Act, which we certainly have been very active advocates of. I think maybe the most important thing is, these are forward progress. I expect there will be some hearings around these bills. And when there's hearings, it bring attention to the lack of clarity. And I think it catalyzes and builds momentum. Momentum to when, I think, is open for debate. I've talked to some very smart people that think realistically, either the House side or the Senate side, it's, a year away before something gets passed, which, that's a long time from now. And I think the U.S. every day is losing competitiveness relative to other markets that have clear regulation, clear leaning in.
So it's been 18 months. It's been a bit of stasis, but certainly you've been doing a lot of work. The business of running this company does not stop. How are you describing the value proposition of Ripple Labs here in 2022?
We only work with regulated institutions globally. 95% of our customers are non-U.S. customers already. Certainly the U.S. case has, we've been able to have 1 or 2 contracts we signed here in the United States, but it's been slow going in the U.S. But the great news is, demand for one of our core products, we call on-demand liquidity. That's the product using XRP to move liquidity for institutions. That grew, already at $1 billion run rate last year. That grew 8x year on year in Q1. So the demand is clearly there. And I think one of the opportunities for everyone in crypto is to make sure we're solving real problems, right? There's a lot of excitement, and I think there should be. Again, I get super excited about real world enterprise solutions.
So where do we go from here? Well, here we are. We're sitting March 10th, 2025, and what's happened so far? So far in January 2025, the SEC filed their opening brief to the case, and Ripple has until April 16th to respond to that opening brief. So this case is going to get slow walked, I believe, for a long time. But I think from an outsider's perspective looking in, if you're an XRP holder, then certainly the kind of languishing effect of the lawsuits could have an effect on how much XRP people buy and hold, and even the adoption, especially if it seems like, the SEC is kind of laser focused specifically on Ripple or XRP because they have it in their sites. For crypto in general, this is something that's huge for everybody across the crypto landscape, because this case could be a line of demarcation. It could be the start of how they look at and how they govern and how they monitor and regulate cryptocurrencies, generally speaking. So if you're a crypto person and you are investing for it for the long term, then monitoring the results of this case specifically, it should be of primary importance to what you're considering for your investments, and how the government feels about the world of crypto. And there's even something here for the SEC. This is a test about how far the authority of the SEC is going to go into the crypto world. How far are they going to be able to push in the future? So to me, in my opinion, there's a lot at stake for Ripple, for crypto in general, for the SEC. Everyone has something involved, right, in this case. And that's why I thought it was kind of interesting, why I wanted to dig in. XRP is unique in a couple of ways, I guess, from my perspective. It is one of the fastest crypto currency platforms out there in terms of processing transactions. You heard the CEO of Ripple say that, and how I think it's like 3 to 5 seconds, whereas Bitcoin is way slower when it comes to moving information across the blockchain. So I think that there's a lot of use for XRP in smart contracts or otherwise, and in other aspects of blockchain technology. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But monitor this case. I'll be monitoring this case. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Do you want me to dig deeper into perhaps some other SEC lawsuits with other crypto currencies out there? I want to know what you think about this. Do you consider cryptocurrency, specifically Ripple or XRP, do you consider it a security, or do you agree with the Ripple, the CEO, and you think it's not an investment vehicle, rather it's a way of doing business, and a currency that shouldn't be regulated like regular fiat currency, like paper and coin? I want to hear from you in the comment section. Let me know what you think. You can duke it out there. I'll be in the comment section looking at what you're saying, and then based off of what you're saying in the comments, I'll make another video about this and kind of where we are and whatever else is going on. So leave your comments in the comment section.